If you're still looking for some of the Super 7 Godzilla figures, head on over to Big Bad Toy Store at the link in the description today.
Dragon Ball, horror, kaiju, and more. Steven's Toy Reviews.
Hey there, collector, Steven here, and of course, in typical STR fashion, we're going to be taking a look, as obviously the title says, at the Super 7 ReAction Shogun Godzilla, but we're going to be taking a look at the first one that came out instead of the most recent one. Why? Because we've already taken a look at all the other ones, so let's go ahead and take a look at the first one. But in an odd twist of fate, we're taking a look at two. That's right, Super 7 released originally as a convention exclusive a boxed version of the original green Shogun Godzilla, and then they did a card-backed one, so this way if you weren't able to get the original release, you got a slightly darker one available at retail, so yay, pretty neat. So without any further ado, because it's rather short, sweet, and to the point, Super 7 made a nice tribute to one of the most iconic Godzilla collectible items in history, so let's take a look to see whether or not this new version is going to be worth adding into your collection. First and foremost, let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging because yes, this does sell the figure, and this is where the original Shogun ReAction Godzilla captivated the hearts of a lot of collectors because the original release, that box set it came in, is very reminiscent of the original Shogun Godzilla. And there are a lot of people who actually keep this MISB, they're not opening this, and I can definitely see why this does have an appeal to it, and that is actually one of the reasons why I went ahead and jumped on this, despite the fact that I have the carded release, which you're going to see when we do a side-by-side comparison. There isn't that much of a significant difference where you have to say, oh, this one's clearly neon pink and this one's dark pink. No, well, you'll see when we get there. But anyway, this is what the box is going to look like. We take a 360 spin view, and now that snap is just to help me edit. Here is a look at the carded version. So here are going to be pictures of that, the front, and then we'll take a look at the back, and everything does look very nice when you have this guy all carded up. This is going to look great for those collectors who like to keep their stuff mint in package if you want to go put it up on the wall. So very cool. Now, if you are one of those collectors who really likes to see things in a nice scanned way, if you do, for whatever reason, want to take a look at a 600 DPI scan of the front and the back of the card, I do have those available for you. And if you'd like to download them, you can do a quick hop and skip on over to the Patreon at any tier as of now, and you can go ahead and get those as a download. Now, for what you're all here for, let's take a look at the figure. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and take a look at the original boxed release of the Shogun Godzilla. And the only issue that I have is actually there's one little mold defect where his one leg, his left leg, wants to sort of bend inwards a little bit. So this way he's not sitting always 100% flat. But other than that, the box release looks really good. He's a nice bright green. Yeah, is he really that bright? Well, that's what he's advertised as, but not super duper bright, kind of like a neon green. No, he's just brighter compared to the other one that we're going to take a look at here in just a moment. Generally speaking, though, I do think that it is a very nice matchup compared to the actual legitimate big, huge Shogun Godzilla that everyone lost the fist and broke the peg off for the tongue that you pretty much can't find nowadays. Now, just as a quick note, we'll go ahead and talk about it here as we do take a close-up shot of this figure. Brian from Super 7, thank you again for that interview, Brian. Definitely check that out on the tab that's coming up on the top right-hand corner of the screen. What they did is they basically took a Shogun Warriors Godzilla, painted it white, put dots all over it, scanned it, and shrunk it down. So sculpt-wise, fantastic. No issues there. It looks really good. Paint, obviously, that's going to vary from unit to unit, but here, this one in particular looks very good. Now, here's a look at the carded release, which, yeah, it's a little darker. Not a whole lot. Cool. It's kind of like a different looking avocado. Yeah, these guys look avocado, don't they? Yeah. The carded one, I actually do like a little bit more. It may not be 100% true to the original Shogun Warriors Godzilla, but I do think that the color looks so rich and vibrant here. Personally, I think it blends in well with some of the other crazy colorways that we have. Keep in mind, we do have the Spirit of 1995 or the 1200 degrees Celsius Godzilla, and then we do also have the glow-in-the-dark Godzilla that are in the ReAction lineup so far. And then Brian also made mention in the interview, if they can think of any other fun colorways that they want to do, then they're going to go ahead and do it. So this darker one, I do think complements the rest of the Shogun reactions that they have so far very, very nicely. Now, the tongue, the flame print looks very nice with no issues really whatsoever. So for quality control for both of these, I only have one issue with that tilted leg. Realistically speaking, paint looks fine. Sculpt, it's basically a 3D scan, so no issues whatsoever. All looks really good. Let's go ahead and take a look at the articulation, which is going to be rather short, sweet, and to the point. Very much so like the original Shogun Godzilla. We are going to have the neck, which is going to be on a swivel, so you can spin it around. Cool. The left and right shoulders do spin. Now, since they're all going to be swivels, theoretically, we can get full 360 spins, but because of the way that they're plugged in and the way that the body is sculpted, be careful of one, not cracking the sculpt and breaking it open, and two, colliding in different parts. Only the right wrist has a swivel in reference to where he could shoot his fist. Pretty cool. His hips are going to swivel, his tail swivels, and then of course, like I made mention, there is that little plunger, lever, whatever you would call it, thing on the back of his head, which you press that to shoot out his tongue, which is actually going to be his flame breath. Pretty cool. All right, we'll go ahead and move on over to a size comparison now, so this way you can see how big this guy is. It's not really going to be all that in-depth since this is the third time I'm covering this sculpt, even though chronologically this would be the first Shogun Godzilla reaction figure. Yeah, by the time that my viewers are going to be seeing this, they already know about how big this one's going to be. So buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. The original release of this guy is basically very, very sought after, and I would argue to say in a few years, this is going to turn into a holy grail item. If you're really looking forward to collectible Godzilla items, this is definitely going to be one to pick up. If you're not really looking for that and you just want the ReAction Shogun Godzilla, get the carded release. I actually prefer that one if you don't factor in the box. Factoring in the box, that's the one you got to have. If you just want the Shogun Godzilla, get the carded release. You can find that one for like 20 bucks. If you're not looking that hard, you can trip over it very easy. The boxed one, yeah, unless there's a random restock, SH Monster Arts prices. Yeah, so pick your poison. That's what I'll say.
Well, collectors, that brings us to the end of the video today, and I just wanted to take a second to thank you so much for watching. Now, you've heard a lot from me. I'd like to hear a little bit from you. Drop in the comments down below whether or not you liked it, you hated it, or maybe you were somewhere in between. I also want to take an extra second here for a nice, humongous thank you to all the patrons for STR over the last month who have really helped the channel grow into what it can be today. So to all of you, 2 big thumbs up. Thank you very much. And now the end card should be popping up, which will give you a few clickable links, like maybe to subscribe or head on over to my Patreon, or some short URLs like to my social media or to my Teespring store. There's also a video I hand selected for you, so if you want to watch another STR video, I hand selected some good content for you to watch, so definitely check out that video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.